Hi, I'm Frank Rogers, and it is my delight to welcome you to this segment on loving your neighbor as yourself. How do we genuinely love ourselves? And this first segment is on the biblical foundations for loving ourselves. At the heart of the faith that Jesus taught us is the central commandment, love the Lord your God with all of your heart and mind and soul and strength, and love your neighbor as yourself. The measure by which we love ourselves should be the measure by which we love our neighbor. And as we think about it, that's a rather low bar. We don't love ourselves very well. We are our own worst critic and worst enemy. Think about all that self-talk that goes within all of us. Oh my God, look at you. How could you be so mean and cruel or inept or stupid? Oh my gosh, if you were really Christian or really spiritual, you wouldn't feel those things or think those things or act in those ways. If anybody knew what you were really like, they would be repulsed by you. If we loved our neighbor with the way we treat ourselves, we would be merciless to the people around us. For Jesus, the invitation is that we should love ourselves. And for him, that is rooted in his experience and understanding of God. For Jesus, God is a God of extravagant compassion. God is a God who looks upon each one of us and extends care wherever we are in the circumstances of our lives. His entire ministry was rooted in his own mystical experience that is in every single gospel. When he came out of the waters of his baptism, he had a vision as if words were coming from heaven. You are my son. You are my beloved, in whom I am well pleased. For Jesus, that God is a God of extravagant compassion who looks upon us all as beloved. Jesus compares that God to the prodigal son story, to that father who stands at the porch with his prodigal son who's rejected him and taken all of his savings and squandered it all, living with the pigs, and comes back in the midst of all of that slime. And that father is ready to run out and wrap him with nothing but compassion. That God in the biblical vision knows each one of us by name, knows the number of hairs on our head. That's the vision of an artist God who takes the time to craft each one of us with meticulous care and stands back with delight. A few years ago, there was a college student who was on a bus sitting next to a man dressed in denim who was looking out the window very agitated. And he asked him, are you okay? And he heard the man's story. He said, yeah, some 25 years ago, I was a drunk and I got totally drunk and I got in a car and I killed a man. I was guilty of murder, vehicular manslaughter, and was sent away to prison. And I've been there for 25 years. I brought shame on myself and on my family. And when it happened, I told my family, you never have to see me again. I'm going away forever. Well, I just got paroled, and now I was wondering, what am I going to do? So I sent a letter to my family. I said, this is where I've been. I know I brought shame upon you, but I'm getting out, and I just want to know, can I come home? And if I could, I would like to just be able to be back with my family. And if not, I understand. And I'll just stay away, and you never have to see me again. And this is how you can let me know. I'll be on the bus that goes right in front of our house on the way to the town square. And if you want me to come home, then just tie a single yellow ribbon on a branch. And as the bus is going by, if I see the yellow ribbon, I'll get off and I'll come home. And if there's no yellow ribbon, I'll stay on the bus. You never have to see me. But now it's getting close, and I'm worried. What will I do if there's no ribbon? The college student said, let's switch sides, and I'll look for you, and I'll tell you what I see. They're going by house after house, tree after tree with no ribbon. And then the college student goes, oh my gosh, you have to see this. There was a tree not with a yellow ribbon, with hundreds of yellow ribbons on every branch of that tree. That family saying, of course we want you home. Extravagant compassion. This is a parable for how God sees each one of us in whatever circumstances of our lives. Nothing but infinite compassion extended to us. You are my beloved. So let us just take a few moments and remember, perhaps there are times in your life where you brushed close to that sacred presence, where you felt seen and met and known. Or perhaps that came through a soul benefactor, somebody in your life who took the time to see you, to care for you, to remind you that in your essence, you are beloved. You are held in a sacred compassion that holds and sustains this entire world.